joining us today on Playing the Field. I'm Maria Serrao, and I am right back here in Dodger Stadium as the trade deadline is upon us. We're going to talk trades. We're going to have breaking news for you today as one beloved Dodger is coming back to the stadium probably tomorrow. I'm going to have my one-on-one with Mookie Betts. You're going to see that today and much, much more. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Joining me now here at Dodger Stadium is a woman who is quickly a rising star in this business. She is a writer and podcaster, and my good friend Amy Cuevas. Amy, I'm so excited to have you here today.
I'm so excited to be here.
Well, we have so much to talk about. I mean, we're talking about the trade deadline. We have breaking news that we just found out today that Kike Hernandez, the banana, is back.
Yes, we got the rally banana back. I'm so excited.
He is back, and we know that he is such a fan favorite here at Dodger Stadium. So that should be a lot of fun. He may be at the stadium, I think, tomorrow or the next day.
They're saying he's actually going to be in the lineup tomorrow.
Tomorrow, okay. So that will be so much fun. But really, we have got to talk about this trade deadline.
Oh my gosh.
Because for the Angels, of course, we know it's Shohei Ohtani. Everybody's talking about him, and Dodger fans have been putting him in Dodger blue for a long time now.
Yes, they have.
We don't know if that's going to happen. And for the Dodgers, really, we need pitching. We need pitching, Andrew. We need pitching. So I'm hoping that that's the direction that they look into, because really, all of our pitchers have been hurt this season, and this next 2 months, as you and I are going to talk about a little bit more in depth, really, we've got to look toward playoffs now.
Oh, 100%, because even though we're not even into August yet, we've got to be thinking like we can't stress out our bullpen more than it already is.
No.
We do need starting pitching, like you said, so we need to pick up something in the deadline.
Right.
Because, I mean, we've got, 3 rookies pitching for us right now?
3 rookies pitching.
And they're doing great.
They are. They're doing great.
But we still need to bolster them.
We do need to bolster them, and you know, for some of the bullpen guys, it always kind of amazes me, because I feel like they could go more innings than they go, and they could play more days, but I guess it's really what you get used to doing in your practicing, yeah?
I think there was a stat actually last night, I'm not sure who on the radio broadcast was talking about, but the number of innings our guys have pitched over like the Atlanta Braves would equal 15 extra games over what they've pitched at this point.
And that is a lot of use, definitely a lot of use.
Yeah.
What is your feeling on having a defined closer?
I mean, I believe we've become used to having that, but I would like to see us at least pick maybe 1 or 2 people to have that role versus like we see Evan Phillips come in to like clean up a couple innings, but then at that point, you know, if we go into extra innings, are we, you know, what are we doing for those last ones? So while I would like to have one, I don't know how I feel about the closer by committee. I mean, we're making it work. We're at the top of the NL West, so can we complain too much?
You know, I think Dodger fans, we are so used to the fact that we are always at the top of the NL West that we dipped down a little bit this year with the Diamondbacks, but we really just always want to be better.
Yep, always. And I think we take that for granted sometimes too, where we get a little bit spoiled and then it's like, oh, we're not doing this right or this, and it's like, well, we're at the top of the NL West. Like, it doesn't get much better than that.
It doesn't. And, you know, really, Clayton Kershaw has been one of our best pitchers all year, and hopefully he will be back, hopefully sooner than later. I know there was a little bit of a setback that Dave said that they were just waiting.
Yes, but he actually pitched a bullpen today.
He did. So hopefully he'll be back. Julio is pitching tonight.
Yes.
Arguably one of our best pitchers. He's had kind of an up and down time, though.
We were looking at some stats, though, and actually he pitches better at home. So that might be in our favor tonight for this series is, you know, get the win tonight and then maybe pick up the win tomorrow, too.
And you know, it's funny. I was just talking to Fernando before I met with you, and he said, you know, a lot of pitching it's right here. So we have to get these guys conditioned mentally as well as physically, and I know they work on that. It's got to be so tough.
Well, and I think I was talking about this with some friends, like, if you have a bad day, if I'm having a bad day at work, like, I go in, I muddle through, but, like, you have a bad day, you're having a bad day in front of 50, 60,000 people, like,
very
that's
different.
Rough, and you've got to keep going, even though you're going to have critics out there, so.
So true, and we've gotten so lucky this year with great hitters like Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman, but what is this new Freddie Freeman dance?
Oh my God,
is that it?
I love it.
We're doing it. We're
Yep.
doing it.
Yep.
I want to know how that started.
So they were saying it came from the gala. He was doing it at the Diamond, what was it, the Dodgers Diamond Gala.
Yes.
And so the guys have been sitting on this for about a month, and they just pulled it out this last series.
They popped out with it, and it was so funny last night. I'm like, what are they doing out there? But last year they had when they would score.
They had, they've had this in
the
the past,
tapping on the head.
microphone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they have to keep reinventing this, I guess, right?
But you've got all the team like participating in this, and they're
Which is
turning
fun.
and facing the bullpen, and the bullpen's getting involved. Like it's the first, well, really since Kike left.
Yes.
Team-wide celebration that gets the fans excited, gets the team excited. So.
All right, Amy, I have to ask you, I have to switch down the 5 freeway a little bit. What do you think, what is your feeling about the Angels and Ohtani? Do you think that it's smarter to just keep him until the end of the season and maybe they can reach the playoffs, or do you trade him now and get players and prospects and see what you can get?
I mean, that's the question, right? And only Artie Moreno can answer that is,
Yes.
Do you think you have a chance to make that run and risk him going into free agency, and what are you going to get? Nothing. Versus maybe getting those prospects. Maybe the prospects you get, you can bring a couple of them up, because, I mean, he's pitching, every fourth or fifth day?
Right.
I mean, yes, his bat is hot, but he can't carry the whole team. Do you take the prospects and go? Versus, you pick up the ticket sales for the end of the season. Maybe you make it to the playoffs, but I don't know. Personally, I would trade just to rebuild the team, but...
It's so funny because I talked to so many people about this, and I was talking to Trent Rush recently, Angels Radio, and he said, one day I think we should trade, the next day I think we should keep. So I think it's going to be interesting. Obviously, like I said, this is very fluid. By the time this gets on the air in 48 hours, he could have a new home, or he could still be at Angel Stadium. We just don't know. But either way, it has been so much fun to watch him play two ways. So we'll see. And I know all the Dodger fans here, they want to see Ohtani in Dodger blue.
They do. And
Andrew.
He's at 36 home runs, I think, at this
He
point?
is leading Major League Baseball in home runs right now.
I mean, it's amazing to watch. It'll be interesting to see how it turns out. Like, we went to bed last night and we woke up and now we have Kike on our team. So the
you
trade
never
deadline
know.
it's just an amazing time.
All I can tell you is if he does come to Dodger Stadium in the next few days, it will be crazy town here. I can guarantee that.
For sure.
Amy, it was so great to have you on the show today. Thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Of course.
Please come back as we approach the postseason.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Anytime. All right, we will be right back talking more Dodgers and Angels. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Playing the Field. Well, now we are going to look back at a huge event that happened in baseball this year, and that was the WBC, the World Baseball Classic in Arizona. And I have to tell you, it was so special to be in the building at Chase Field with the U.S. team that I wanted to go back and talk to some of our players that experienced the whole ride. Now, eventually they did lose to Japan in the finals, but it was such a special time, and here is what the players had to say about remembering those days in the WBC. It took a league full of teams to assemble just one. The biggest and the best all gathered in Arizona at Chase Field to start this journey. The World Baseball Classic. They are Team USA.
I kind of knew right away I was going to do it. And then finally committing to it, and then seeing the roster, come together. And then our first practice in Arizona, it was just the vibe was incredible. You're playing for your country. We got the best guys in the league playing. You're playing other countries that are just love playing for their countries, and we got a taste of the atmosphere when we played Mexico. In Arizona, and then once we got to Miami, it was just different. It's winter, go home. It was just one of them things where the emotions, the highs, the lows, the back and forth. It was just pretty amazing.
It was amazing. Yeah, it was a lot more than could have ever imagined. I'm thinking, going in Team USA, it's just kind of like playing regular season baseball, and you got the USA across your chest, but not that many people watch. But it's the opposite. It was playoff baseball the whole time. The whole country's watching. Phillies fans, Giants fans, Padres fans, they're all cheering for me, which is weird.
People were just going all out with horns and just bringing stuff to make music. It was pretty amazing.
The players all bought in that they were representing our country, which I thought was very nice. And, when you have the mega stars like the Trouts, the Mookies, and Nolan, Goldschmidt, name it, Trey Turner, Real Muto, Smith, all of them, the guys all bought in together. They knew it was about a 2.5-week thing, and they wanted to win the gold. And, Trout came out and said that he wouldn't have been doing this unless he wanted to win the whole thing. And I think the players all felt that way, and it showed during the tournament how close we got in a real short period of time, which made it special.
Former player and first-time manager Mark DeRosa took the reins. He had so much heart and passion, and it certainly showed on the field.
D-Row was unbelievable. Obviously knew him, playing this game, and got to talk to him a little bit, but being able to see him manage and what he brought to the team, it was special. I love playing for him. It was a pretty cool experience for sure. I think that was a big reason he wanted to do it. You could see the guys felt it in the clubhouse, the passion he had. He was putting everything on the line. He knew how big the stakes were, and it was pretty cool to, like I said, just to be with him and experience that with him and play for him.
D-Row was all ears, and he wanted all the information. Andy Pettit and Michael Young, and with Ken Griffey Jr. and it was just an opportunity. Jerry Manuel, who managed in the big leagues, he had all these guys with knowledge and experience playing in the big leagues, and we brought it together where it was talking baseball. And Mark, for me, was just, hey, he let us do our job, which good managers will let their coaches do that, and that's what made it special for us coaches.
Just being with the guys, I think that was pretty cool to me. Getting to know the guys more on a being able to talk to them, build friendships around the league, and I think that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was such an amazing thing, even for me, just to walk into Chase Field that day, and all of you guys were out there for the first time working out, and I'm like, this feels different. It just felt really different.
Yeah, all the guys there, it was amazing. It's really, the coolest part was just that you get a collection of quote-unquote stars together, and usually, like, you get egos in the way and all those type of things. But it was the opposite. We weren't like that at all. We became closer. When I see those guys, no matter if they're pitching, playing, whatever, I make sure I talk to them, give them a head nod during the game, whatever it is. And I feel like that kind of bond is something that's going to be forever.
The high-powered team that we had, they were superstar guys. So there was no egos. They checked it at the door. The main goal was whatever we can do to win this thing, and that's where I thought was very special. And what made it really special for me and everyone on the field was how much the fans were bought in and loud and into it, and playing other countries and hearing the music, and just the Dominican and Venezuela, Puerto Rico, they go through every winter. I manage in the Dominican. That's how it is every game. So you were representing the country and you were playing for the gold. So that's why I thought it was electric. Like, we've been in some big games as a Dodger in my career with the Angels. By far, the crowd noise was the best I've ever been around.
Mike Trout already said to sign him up for 2027, and he's not the only one.
The fans, cheering for their country, it's just different.
USA, that was it for me.
What was that like for you to have that Team USA across your chest?
It was amazing.
It was just the overall experience was just incredible.
Super cool. It was super cool, and anytime they have the WBC, I'll always be a part of that.
It was so amazing to be there, and thank you to all of the players who represented our country. We are all so proud of you. And one of those players, well, he just happens to be a superstar right here with the Los Angeles Dodgers, and that's Mookie Betts. Now, Mookie's bat has been hot as of late, but even off the field, he takes the time out to support his own charity called the 50/50 Foundation. So let's catch up with the superstar Mookie Betts as I go one-on-one. We are here today with Mookie Betts from the Los Angeles Dodgers. Mookie, in reading a little bit about you, I was really taken with your 50/50 Foundation. I know that you do a lot of work with kids that maybe don't have enough money to pay medical bills or have certain situations they need help with. How did you sort of create that, and what inspired you?
Really, a lot of it was my wife. She kind of just kind of asked me what hit home, because a lot of times, people do the sicknesses and all those type of things, and not that necessarily those things don't hit home for me.
Right.
But it's more of I think I care a lot about the kids and like giving them opportunities. And so that's really kind of what it stemmed from. She kind of took that idea, and now she runs it all and does everything for me. But really, it's just I just want to give opportunities to kids that don't get them. Because you never know what they're going to be, who they're going to grow up. They don't even know what they're going to be, who they're going to grow up to be. And so I just want to give them an opportunity to be the lawyer if they want to be a lawyer, or whatever it is, right? And so help them with medical bills and help them with schools and all schooling and all those type of things. Just what hits home.
I know you're from the Nashville area, and we had an opportunity the other day to meet Team Mookie. Some of the players had come out. They were basketball players. I know you were a basketball player growing up. Tell us about that.
I'm a basketball junkie. I love basketball. So
Are we a Laker fan now?
I don't know that I'm a Laker fan. I don't want to say that because I don't want to ruffle any feathers.
That's just true. We do have two teams here.
I don't want to ruffle any feathers. But I'm just a huge basketball fan. Anybody who's playing, I'll go watch. Especially in the NBA, that doesn't matter. I got a lot of buddies there.
Sure.
So I get to go watch them. But yeah, basketball is near and dear to my heart. Both sides of my family play basketball, and so I wanted to play basketball in college, but this baseball thing kind of got in the way.
It did, right?
So,
and it kind of worked out. So
Yeah, I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, the boys came to see me, and they had a little tournament going up here as well, so they killed two birds with one stone. But yeah, basketball is near and dear to my heart, and I always make sure I have a piece of it.
I know how excited they were to meet you for the first time. What kind of questions did they ask you?
They didn't really ask me any questions.
Okay.
We just kind of talked, kind of like hung out, talked like we've known each other forever. I met a couple of the parents through Zoom calls and those type of things. So it was good actually seeing them in person. But it's hard because I'm playing when they're playing, so we never really get to run into each other. And then when I'm home, they're all going to different schools and whatnot, so it's kind of hard to run into everybody. So it's good to see a couple of the boys out here.
And I know that in addition to baseball and basketball, bowling, you're a very good bowler, and your mom had a lot to do with that. She would take you to the bowling alleys.
Yeah, my mom and dad met in the bowling alley.
That is so great.
It's crazy. Yeah, but actually, a lot of it has to do with my mom. But my dad, he bowled a lot as well. My whole dad's side of the family, they live in Louisville. They're big bowlers, huge bowlers, and so it's really funny how two families come together and bowling is a common thing.
Right?
But it's super cool. We go bowling and stuff all the time. I'm in the off season, especially, I'm bowling at least 6 days a week, if not every day. And so that's one thing. Sports really is just something that registers for me.
Okay, so look, I was also the kid that got dropped off at the bowling alley. How do you bowl a perfect game? I know you've done it.
Yeah, it's hard to do. It's very hard to do. The lane services and the oil patterns and all those type of things.
You have to blame that sometimes. It is the lane sometimes. Mookie.
Oh, for sure. It's the lane a lot of times. It's the lane most of the time. But the few times that the lane is good, that's when you got to bowl your 300s. It's really just being able to make a shot over and over and over again. And people think like it's easy to just step up and repeat the same thing over and over, and it's actually one of the hardest things ever, just to repeat something over and over. It's been 12 times. You get nervous, palms sweating, knees shaking, all those type of things, and so, but it's fun.
And I know for your foundation, you've had some bowling events here. How have they gone?
Great. We had one here and one in Nashville as well. So my mom runs the one in Nashville, and the wife does the one here.
Nice.
So
you're keeping them both busy.
Keep them both busy. Trying to keep them both happy, with doing what they want to do. But yeah, the bowling events have been amazing. They've done an amazing job. So it's always fun. We get some really good support with the bowling events.
Well, you are also going off to an All-Star game very soon, a couple of days. Congratulations on that. I know that's always fun for you.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's always a blessing when you're an All-Star, no matter how many times you become one. And I always enjoy going out there and being with the guys. And like I said, you only play this game for so long, and so to be amongst the All-Stars is super cool.
Well, there's always so many new players here in baseball that we see coming and going. And for pitcher Emmet Sheehan, well, it was a call-up that nobody saw coming, including him. Here's more.
So I was, found out I was going to OKC AAA on that Saturday, I believe. Me and Landon Ack got moved up together. And then Monday we drove over. And then Wednesday night I got a call from our manager, Travis Barbary, and said, "You're actually going to pitch in LA on Friday instead of here in OKC." So I just packed up and got out of there and tried to, keep the nerves down as much as I could. But yeah.
What in the world was going through your mind when you walked in and heard that news?
It was crazy. Well, we had a day game that day. So I got home at like 3, and then I didn't get the phone call till like 10 o'clock at night. And once I heard it, I just called my mom immediately, called a couple of my coaches, and was just like basically trying to break the news, because that was the best part, was, being on FaceTime with those people and seeing their reactions, I think. And then obviously having them here for the game was awesome too. But yeah, no, it was definitely a lot of nerves after I got the call. But I felt like it settled down like once I got on the field, pretty much.
Well, it did. And not only that, but I mean, 6 no-hit innings. When you got on the field, how did you calm it? That had to be such an amazing and just crazy moment for you.
It was crazy. It was crazy to look back and see like Mookie and Freddie and Will and all these guys behind me, and Miggy. But that was the other thing that made me calm down, I think, was throwing to Will back there. He's a great catcher, and obviously knows how to control a game and knows how to calm a young pitcher down when he's maybe a little too excited for something. And then once I got the first out, that's kind of when everything kind of cooled down, and I was like, okay, I belong here. I'm gonna get some outs. And then had some great defense that night too, so that helped too.
Unbelievable. It was so cool though watching. Was it your mom and dad in the stands, right?
Yeah, my mom. Yep.
Your
my mom was up there.
And so every time you moved, she gasped like, "Okay, just get him out. Just just make this happen." And you could just see how excited she was for you in her face. I loved every second.
Yeah, that was my favorite part, was that she was like the star of the show the whole night. That was
yes.
awesome. Yeah.
It was very cool. Okay, and so you're from back east. Have you ever been to California?
Yeah, so we came out here. I did a camp at Dodger Stadium this winter for a week. Yeah, out here, and then so that was awesome to be able to see the stadium and get a little lay of the land a little bit before coming here on my first day. But yeah, no, I hadn't really met any of these guys before I got here, because I didn't do big league spring training this year or last year. So. Okay,
so you get here, and who did you sort of bond with quickly?
I'd say probably like the younger guys the most, because that was just, who I felt most comfortable talking to. I was basically trying to stay out of everybody's way my first couple weeks here, and still kind of am. Like, just, I don't want to mess up those guys' routines at all, because I know they're the best players in our game, and they have, certain things that they like to do. But yeah, no, it's been awesome. Everybody's been really, really welcoming and really nice, and making me feel like I'm a part of the team, which is awesome. And then, Freddie said you only get to debut once, so try to enjoy it as much as you can. That was something that I remembered that really helped me, I think. And then, yeah, I think a lot of the younger guys, Johnny DeLuca I played with this year for a while, and then last year too, and then Bobby I've known for a while too. So. Was
it strange for you as a young pitcher to walk in and see Clayton Kershaw sitting on the other side?
Yeah, a little bit. It was just like kind of a starstruck moment a little bit with him and like a lot of the other guys in our clubhouse. Yeah. Honestly, it's all guys that I've been growing up watching, and I've been a fan of for so long, and I'm still a fan of them. It's just like, really cool to walk in every day and have them as teammates too. And it's awesome to have, guys like Kirsch be an example that I can follow, and I can just, try to see what he does, and obviously it works, so it's good to follow.
I mean, it's got to be so exciting to be here now and just to take this all in. What is it like to be down here on the field in the stadium?
It's awesome. It doesn't feel real a lot of the time still. I mean, I'm starting to get a little used to it, and it's unbelievable. We had 52,000 people at the game last night, which is, something I'd never seen a crowd over 10,000 that I was playing in before that, so it's been really cool.
Now, everyone that knows me knows that my favorite time of year is right now, when NFL camps open all over the United States, and 3 of them opening right here in Southern California. But before the Los Angeles Chargers got back to work, well, they played a little golf for charity, and I was there for all the fun. how's your golf game?
How's my golf game? Oh, that assumes I have a game. I have no game. I'm just out here to meet everybody that I haven't met and say hello to all of my old friends and then swing the club and hopefully it hits that ball. But my first sport ever was golf. 5 years young, I was at Rancho Golf Course. I remember my father, myself, Calvin Pete, if you guys know anything about golf, and my dad was out there, and Smokey Robinson. And that was the only guys I remember. And then I hated golf from maybe a month after that. I hit a 40-footer, and I started screaming like it was another sport. Different culture, honestly, in golf. When you make big putts, you're just supposed to do the tiger pump, right? You're not supposed to yell. So it's in my blood, it's in my DNA, but I haven't tapped into it in a while.
Coach, how important is it to be out here today with the guys and sort of have that team bonding?
Yeah, this is a big event. You know, it impacts the Impact Fund and a lot of special causes that are important to the club, and it brings, I think, the past and the present together. And hopefully you're here with the rest of the city of Los Angeles, and it's just one of these really cool events that kind of gets you started for your season ahead. I'm here for moral support only today, and that's going to be where my value is today. I do, but sparingly. I've got 3 boys, 8, 6, and 4. And there's not a lot of time for that. I'll play some tennis because you can do that quickly, but my golf game is nowhere near being able to be a contributing factor today.
And on the next show, I will be camping with the Los Angeles Rams, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to bring you all of the latest news, stories, interviews from camp. So please look out for that. All right, remember, you can watch Playing the Field 24/7 at playingthefieldtv.com. Thank you so much for watching today. I'm Maria Serrao from Dodger Stadium, and we will see you next time.